listening to the Bearcat Sports Network.
It's time for the Coach Jason Hooten Radio Show. Talking Sam Houston State University Bearcat basketball. Live from True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Now let's join the coach and your host, KSAM Sports Director Rob Hipp.
Oh, that's a little hot tonight. How about it? Can y'all hear me okay out there? Man, we were just a little bit loud. I wanted to wake everybody up tonight. So good to have y'all out. It's the Jason Hooten Radio Show here live from True Texas BBQ. Let's give it up, True Texas. Got a nice little crowd here tonight, and I'm actually coming through a little bit too hot, so I'm just going to come down just a bit there. Coach, it's been a while. The Arctic blast, what do they call it, the polar vortex? I think it came through here. That set us back. Then we had the rescheduling of a couple of games. I'd much rather play basketball, no offense, than be at a coach's show. But I'm glad we're back. I'm glad we were able to play basketball. Let me word it that way.
Yeah, I think just having those Monday games sometimes, though, makes for a hard week, having Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. But, no, it's good to be back tonight, and looking forward to, obviously, Katie and the conference tournament.
Got a lot going on. We're going to dig into a little bit here tonight as we always go back in that first segment. The Bearcats dropping a tough contest versus Stephen F. Austin on Saturday was 65-49. The Cats, though, they finished the season 19-8 overall, 13-3. That's a good season. I know those 3 losses, but there's a lot of teams that wish they could be in that scenario. So 13-3, not a bad finish. It was good enough for third. Bryce Monroe led the team in scoring with 24 points to Marcus Lampley, had 11. Nuttall finished with 10. Coach, I know let's chat a little bit. How have you been, man? It's been 3 weeks.
Good. Doing good. Probably been better, but doing good.
You know, the time flies by, and we've had a lot of games in that time frame. Of course, there was a 10-game winning streak. That got snapped at Stephen F. Austin there at Nacogdoches, but then came back, won a couple more. Kind of talk about some of these games in between since we've chatted, facing some quality opponents. Of course, we'll talk about Stephen F. Austin, but through that skid and then coming back and winning a couple, what's that journey been like?
Yeah, I think we've had quite a few, seem like in that stretch since we've last met. We had a lot of road games, and our guys did a tremendous job. I knew, after we lost that SFA game, we kind of got back on another streak. I believe we won about 5 in a row before we went to ACU. And knew that would be a tough game at Abilene, a game that a lot of people weren't going to win. In fact, they finished this year undefeated at home. And so, I just think you look at the other games and you know probably which games are going to be tough and which games you need to go win. I thought our guys did an excellent job of taking care of the games that we should win, even though those aren't easy, right? And so, finishing conference with a 6-2 road win or road record, I was very pleased with and happy with. And we just, fell a little short of what we wanted to do. We were 12-0 at home. I really wanted to finish 13-0 at home. And we were, I guess, 7-1 in conference, and we really wanted to finish 8-0 at home. And it just didn't work out. It wasn't in the cards. I was extremely proud of how hard they fought and how hard they played. But unfortunately, in the game of basketball, there's just nights like that where your shots just don't go in. And, when you're a former player like I was as well, it's very frustrating because you feel for those guys because they're just not out there trying to miss those shots. And as a coach, you feel helpless because, you try to draw plays up and you try to get guys open looks. And then when those shots just don't go in, it's just hard. It's so easy to coach when you make everything. And it's very difficult when those shots don't go in because you just feel like there's not a whole lot you can do for them. And, I just felt really bad. I felt bad for the guys. And, I've had some tough losses as a coach, and that's probably, I'll have to rank that up there as one of the toughest ones. And I told him today when we met, it's a good thing we didn't meet yesterday because I wouldn't have been, poly positive. And not that I wouldn't have tried to. It would just be really hard for me to because I took that one pretty hard. But you got to get up, got to get back on the horse, and you got to go ride. And that's what we did today. And, we're ready to go. We're looking forward to Katie. And, this team is played the hardest schedule. By far we played the hardest schedule of anybody. And I say that, I can confidently say that because Abilene and SFA didn't play Nichols. And we did, but Nichols didn't play SFA and Abilene. So I know we've played the hardest schedule of anybody in our conference. And so our guys are prepared. We've beaten every single team. Obviously, SFA is not in the tournament. And so we've beaten every team that's going to the tournament. And so, I told our guys we got the best team, but we just got to go play the best.
We'll talk a little bit about the tournament in our third and final segment. Of course, you just mentioned Nichols and Abilene Christian. Nichols, we beat them twice. And that, coming out, starting the season, a 3-game road trip, and the Cats go 3-0. That was a great way to start the season. I think that really set the precedent and built a lot of confidence in this young team this season.
That's why we're sitting in the position that we are right now. I think that, that road trip is one that a lot of people didn't have, and I know a lot of people didn't go 3-0 on it. And, I thought that trip gave us a lot of confidence as a team. And I think it just showed our guys, that they can win on the road, especially in conference, because, you have to have a good road record in order to be up at the top of the league like we were. And, I'm not ashamed of the games that we lost. I mean, obviously losing at SFA and at Abilene are games that, again, those are hard-fought games, and you're good against good teams at their place. Just the one that we feel like that we let slip away was Saturday night. And, it's time to move on. I've thought about it over and over. I've replayed that game in my mind and what I would do differently or the same, and it's just time. You just got to learn from it, and you got to move on.
Well, Coach, we'll move on. We're going to talk about a great accolade, something that was just announced today, and he's not here. We're going to talk to Kian Scroggins as our player guest. We've already talked to this young man previous, who I'm about to name. He was named the Southland Conference Player of the Year. What an honor for Zach Nuttall. Let's give him a round of applause. Only a junior. You know me, Coach. I like it. We've got a lot of great veteran leadership and underclassmen. I like to talk a lot about the younger guys, too. Zach Nuttall, only a junior. He finishes out the season just under 19 points a game. At one point, he was a little over 20. How important has he been to this team, not only as an athlete on the court, but a role model for these guys off the court?
Yeah, I told someone this morning, it was a TV station or someone, that, when you get Player of the Year, a lot of times that's based off of your accolades and your scoring and, things that you can see, right? To me, he deserved Player of the Year because of what he did for our team as a leader. And, you're talking about, we got 8 new players. I mean, that's really, really hard to do, is have 8 totally new team guys and have the season that we had. I looked out there Saturday night at one time, and we had 3 freshmen on the court. And so the job that Zach did, like even Saturday night with 10:50 to go, he gets a foul call on a ball that goes in. It's his 4th call. It's his 4th foul. He's got to sit over there. And when he came off, the one thing I told him was, listen, get over here and coach, because what you're going to do here for the next 4 or 5 minutes it's going to give us an opportunity to whether we're going to be in this game at the end or not. And, man, he sat over there and he cheered those guys on, and he coached and he mentored over there. And sure enough, when he came back in, we obviously had a chance to win that game. We had a 3-pointer with 10 seconds to go and, to tie it. So just those little things that he did that are just huge for a team. And I'm just so proud of how much he's grown as a leader. I mean, obviously the talent it's there. You see that, right? He's, he can score 10 points in a blink of an eye. But just the other things that he did that I think are what make a person an MVP. And we're blessed. He's the 3rd one that we've ever had. We had one my first year as a head coach, Gilberto Clavel. Obviously Cameron Delaney got it on our championship team. And, but Zach's, he wants to win. He wants to win the tournament. He wanted to win Saturday. He wants to win. And he, is he excited? Sure. He should be. He should be proud for that. He worked hard for that. But he knows that's a team award. You don't get that award unless your team wins and unless your team is successful.
It was funny because talking a little bit more about Zach Nuttall, I don't see him really get too animated on the court. And I've talked a lot about Tristan Ikpe. He's another player that just fundamentally plays the game of basketball. You won't see Tristan Ikpe overreact to a call or get bent out of shape. He just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Reminds me a lot of when I saw Tim Duncan playing for so many years, and that's a good thing.
Good comparison.
It was funny because Zach Nuttall doesn't really get too animated, but at Houston Baptist, he was getting a little into it with the crowd, and I asked him after that game, he goes, well, I just wanted to say a few things to him. So every once in a while, he steps out, and he has a little bit of fun, and that's important, though, to have fun. It was all in good faith. It wasn't anything bad. He was just having fun.
Yeah, he does a good job of not showing that. But he does a little bit of talking out there for sure. But it's funny because at Abilene that night, it was a pretty animated game, and the coach at Abilene, Christian, and I were really, really good friends. We've been friends for 30 years. And Zach hit a shot, and I think he said something to their bench, and he said something to me. And I said, well, I said, you can say that. You can say that when you're that good. And he laughed, and he said, yeah, I guess you're right. He can say that because he is that good.
Talking more about some other players, Coach. I've mentioned a lot of these underclassmen. Bryce Monroe, he had a fair game versus Stephen F. Austin. 24 points in the night for him. His play has continued to steadily improve. You've talked about the ability for these younger players to be coached. I saw Zach Nuttall talking to Bryce Monroe. Specifically saw him talking to Kian Scroggins, and we'll talk to Kian a little bit later. And Kian was very receptive to what Zach was saying. Talk a little bit about Bryce and then some of these other players, such as Kian, and just their ability to really step back and listen and take in what they're being told from some of your veteran leaders.
Yeah. Bryce, I thought Saturday he really started off that game nervous. Man, he had a rough start of that game, and I was obviously a little concerned because I felt like him and Dante both got off to a pretty rough start. And that got us into a little bit of a hole. It was a weird game because I felt like that beginning SFA came out and just kind of were feeling us out to see what we were going to do because they didn't have anything to play for as their last game, and they were feeling us out a little bit, just kind of laying in the weeds, so to speak, and seeing. And we got off to an 8-2 start. I was really excited, and then, man, we went through that 4-minute stretch where we didn't score and we turned it over so much, and it just Dante and Bryce really, really struggled in that segment, and then I think SFA was like, okay, they're going to let us hang around here, and then they played well, and it was tough, but man, I was so proud of Bryce and how he fought back in the second half. And I mean, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have got back in the game and took the lead. But he played great, and he can do that. I mean, he gives us a lot of energy off the bench, a lot of spurt ability. He's just a talent. He can make things happen with his quickness, and he's just so hard to keep in front. So I was proud the way he finished that game. He took some tough blows in that game. He landed there 3 or 4 times, and he still stepped up and made those free throws. Made some big defensive plays for us. And, and even today, he came in today and he was beat up and bruised, and he practiced and practiced hard. And that's, to me, is his growth and maturation. When he first got here, he wouldn't have practiced today. He just didn't understand that part of it quite yet. And, man, he's really gotten a lot tougher, and I'm just so proud of him. And he, I know there's a lot of people out there today that are, complaining about him getting player freshman of the year. I think a lot of people thought there was some other guy. I mean, he was deserving. There's no question about it for his level of play, but also his team won, and he has a big part of that. He's a point guard, and I'm really, really proud of him. And Kian's really started to come on. I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and he had some good games early, and then poor guy, he got COVID right there. After the Rio Grande game, and he missed the first 2 or 3 conference games and missed the 2 weeks of practice, and unfortunately it's just part of this year, right? And it just really, I thought, set him back because he was really starting to come on. He'd gotten like 7 rebounds at LSU and 8 rebounds at Texas, and and even my mentor was watching us play, and he was like, son, you got yourself a good one right there. You need to start getting him in there, and and then that happened, and it just set him back a little bit, and it was just kind of a little slow process, him getting back in shape and getting back into the flow and learning and figuring out things. And then he's just really gradually started to come on. And, last couple of weeks in practice, he's just really outplayed guys. And that's why I gave him another opportunity and stuck him out there. And he played real well at HBU, and then he played great against Corpus and had a little bit of an injury and practiced the game after Corpus with his foot. He wasn't 100% Saturday night, but he was good enough to go, and I thought he played well. He's a freshman. I mean, it's a big game, and there's some plays in there that he probably would like to have back for the most part. I was very pleased with his play and his effort, and he's going to be a really good player for us, and I'm excited about him getting to go to the tournament and looking forward to him playing well. And Katie and and Jaron's had a good freshman year as well. A lot of learning. Jaron still got a lot to learn. Unfortunately for Jaron, he just couldn't get one to go in on Saturday, and that's just part of it. I mean, that's how it works with shooters. He didn't miss a shot today, and so I'm excited about Katie. I think he'll go to Katie, and I think he'll make he'll make every one he takes. And because he's such a great shooter, every time he shoots it, you think it's going to go in. So, but these guys are really good young players, but the greatest thing about all three of them is they're very coachable, and they're very receptive to me and to the team, and they just want to win and they want to get better, and they're just great people. And I think if you're a great person, then, that's what you're going to do. You respect people, right?
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned earlier 3 freshmen on the court at once, and Kian getting a lot more playing minutes, earned those minutes. As you mentioned, Texas A&M Corpus in that game, it was a career night for him with 8 points. And then 5 versus Stephen F. Austin, but it was the defensive things that we were noticing as well. Sometimes you don't see things on that stat sheet, and you got to be really careful as a fan. I know you from a coaching perspective, of course, you don't see that, but as a fan, sometimes a fan will go, I just want to see the box score. Oh, well, they only had this and that. That didn't really do much. But sometimes there's things that don't show up on that stat sheet. We saw a lot of that with Javion May, for instance, and his ability and what he's been able to do. But Kian came in there very aggressive on the defensive side and just kind of picking up and continuing to earn those minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that guy for SFA, he's really good. That's a big guy, and he's strong, and it's a good body. And, I just thought that the matchup for Kian was a lot better because obviously his size are bigger, and Kian does a good job defensively for us. I think, that's probably one of the biggest ways that you earn playing time, is especially an inside player, is that you can show the ability to defend the basket. And also he does a great job in our ball screen coverages because he's very intelligent and he talks. He's a big talker. Guards want that. They want to hear what the coverage is so they know how to turn their feet. And Kian does a really good job of that. And then offensively, he's just really improved, which I think is his next step in maturation, and what you'll see, especially by next year, is how much he's going to improve offensively. But, he's really done a good job in our ball screen motion and really turning our screens and flipping them and moving them, and because he's intelligent. The hard thing for freshmen is to think fast. He's a thinker. He sometimes thinks too much. But when the game is going really, really fast, sometimes when you get more confidence and you get more experience, that game slows down, and then you see things, from a bigger picture. And so he's just doing a great job. He's getting better, and I'm excited for his future.
It's easy to think fast. I was on the broadcast, and for a minute I sputtered, and I couldn't remember Bryce Monroe's name, even though I've called him numerous times. So you got to slow down and take a step back. Maybe that was from the lack of eating lately.
Wait
Coach.
till you get to your 50s.
Well, great, I can't wait. Well, hey, let's field one question here in this first segment because we got to move on. Ben, did you guys have a question in this first one? So he was talking, the question, again, we didn't have a microphone, just talking about just the offensive scoring load and talking about how DeMarcus Lampley and Zach there for a while, they were really lights out to start, and then other players kind of stepping up in that role. Yeah,
again, I think that's your, accumulation of your team getting better and transforming into a total team. But also, Ben, I think the big part of that is how people were starting to guard DeMarcus and, Zach. And, when there's good coaches. Everybody got film now, and you watch synergy and tape, and, everybody did a really, really good job on those two guys. And to me, for them to both make first team all-conference and see the defense that they see every night, everybody started to stay attached to them. So when we drive to the basket, they don't help off of them. They just don't let them try to catch the ball. And so when that happens, it's tough to get them shots. And, we got to move them around more. We got to get them coming off more screens. But you also got to have other guys, as you said, step up. And, I think when Bryce goes and scores and Dante, when Dante scores, we're really good. And we got to get more from Tristan and Kian around the basket and getting easier shots. But yeah, I think that we really started to take off. That first road trip was difficult. We didn't know our offense very well yet. We didn't know each other very well yet. And, we were just kind of sitting around watching Zach play. And really, to be honest, DeMarcus really wasn't even a shell of what he is right now then either. And so it's been fun. We've gotten our offense into where, everybody's real comfortable and And now you just try to make some adjustments as to how people are guarding you. And, we got to continue to do that. We're going to see some things. We saw some things against Lamar over there that we hadn't seen this year. And, we'll be ready for those, though, on Thursday, if that's who we play.
Well, Ben, thank you for that question. Coach, thank you for this first segment. Going back when I first came on, talking about thinking too fast. And I haven't eaten much today, by the way. I missaid the score. I knew I said it wrong. It was 64 to 59. I think I said like 54 to 49 or something. So just wanted to correct that. And thank you to Carlos back at this, because I was about to say, Coach, if I ever say anything, you can always say, Rob, I've known you long enough. You can poke me, man. Just make sure I get that right.
14-point loss, 1-point loss, it doesn't matter. You got to move on. But, yeah, you're right.
Well, appreciate it, Coach, here in this first segment. As we'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to the freshman forward, Kian Scroggins. Let's thank True Texas BBQ, again, here live from the Jason Hooten Radio Show. We'll be back with that second segment coming up.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
Hunting season is upon us, and if you're not prepared or you want a new firearm, you need to go by now to Bullets, Blades, and Concealment and let them help you choose the right rifle or shotgun for you. They've got many options to choose from for beginners and experienced hunters. Bullets, Blades, and Concealment, located in the Timber Hill Shopping Center right next to Harbor Freight at 111 Interstate 45 South in Huntsville. Go on by and see them at the shop or call 936-439-6727. Bullets, Blades, and Concealment.
All right, friends, welcome back. How's everybody doing tonight? A little barbecue in the house and a lot of fun here. Appreciate True Texas BBQ allowing us to be here all season. I know I missed the past 3 weeks just with our scheduling, of course, with basketball Monday nights, the polar vortex that, my goodness, 5-6 days of freezing. But you know what? We've thawed out, and we are now talking to the 6'7" freshman forward, Mr. Kian Scroggins. Welcome, Kian.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, good to have you, man. When you first started, when I first started calling the games this year, I knew your last name, okay? Your mom was so great at messaging me and making sure that I said it correctly. I won't call out who it was, but there was a public address announcer that's pretty well known that was at a Big 12 school, and he kept saying Scroggins.
Yeah, I've heard it all.
And I said, that cannot be right. But I was like, if this guy has been a pretty known public address announcer, and he's saying, I said, I've been saying it wrong all season. So I made the mistake that you don't make as a broadcaster, and you go against your gut and you listen to someone else, and guess what? I started saying Scroggins. Well, guess what happened? A lady by the name of Miss Angie Banks messaged me on Facebook, and I said, who is this? And she goes, it's pronounced, and she typed it out, Scroggins. And then I found out it was your mom, man. So thanks to Angie. That's why I made sure that we got it straight, man.
Yeah, it's all good. I've heard it all. I've heard Keenan, everything, whatever. I've heard it all, man.
You got any nicknames, man?
Shoot. I don't know. I heard a new one today. Probably won't say it on here, but
okay, well then,
I don't want them to get hold of that one. But,
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me after the show, all right?
I got you.
But I won't say it on the air afterwards. So we're having some fun. Kian, you're from Missouri, man.
Yes, sir.
Raymore, how do you say it? Peculiar?
Yeah, Peculiar, yes, sir.
Raymore Peculiar High School, an all-conference and all-district selection for the high school there in Missouri. As a junior, you were named the all-state tournament team. You averaged almost 20 points a game. 10.5 boards. I mean, that's pretty good. That's double-double territory, man.
Yes, sir.
You talk a little bit more about shooting 57% from the floor. You were second on the team in field goal percentage, and you helped guide Colby College to its best season. And is that right? No, you weren't at Colby.
Mm-mm.
No, you weren't at Colby. I was reading a note. See, I had to put all this. You were not at Colby. You came straight from there to here, man.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
See, I give you permission too. Like, Rob, slow down.
It's all good.
And I've got this like stick over here. It's a social distancing stick. You can poke me with it, man. You know what? I know we've chatted a little bit. We've had a little bit of fun. How have you been doing, man? How's this afternoon been? And, coming off of a tough one there versus Stephen F. Austin, how have you been able to rebound? And what have you guys been up to, man?
It's been good. Yesterday, got a little day off, got a little time to just get our minds right and our body right. Came into practice today, talked a little bit, made sure everybody was positive and felt good about each other. So we got after it today, had a good practice, and we're just ready for Thursday, whoever we play.
What led you? I always ask you guys, what led you to the game of basketball? Kind of when did you start? How did you get involved in the sport?
I would say my older brother, his name Kian Scroggins. He started playing probably when he was 7, and I was roughly maybe 4, and I just was watching his games growing up, and he was a phenomenal basketball player in Missouri as well. He was All-State his senior year as well, went and played NAIA at Mid-American Nazarene, and just growing up watching him play, it made me get interested into the game. So probably started around 7 years old, just playing rec ball, whatever, and then eventually transferring into traveling. And so just going into that, just kept playing, and then it's led me to here.
A little bit about your high school days. You know, don't want to skip over that because you, from reading your bio, had a pretty good run there. Talk a little bit about your playing days there in high school in Missouri.
My freshman year, we weren't the best. We had a bunch of guys that, I want to say selfish, but just couldn't play together. We won only about 5 games. Sophomore year, about 10, and then after my sophomore year, started playing with people in my age because I played freshman varsity my freshman year, and so I really didn't play with people my age. And so just getting to know people that were my age my junior year, just hanging out with them more, playing with them more, just getting the feel and chemistry with them, just got better and better each day. And so my junior year, we were about 500, but we were a really good team, just had a hard schedule. And then eventually my senior year, we knew we were the best team in Missouri, but we won, I think, about 24 games, lost 4. We lost all 4 of the games, lost by like 3 or 4, just beat ourselves, kind of compared to this team, our team this year. I mean, really good team, just the only people that can beat us is us. So had a really good team. Just our last game at Ray Peck, it was a COVID game, and so we were going to play in a big arena, 10,000 people maybe, and then got a phone call. They said, hey, we got to only play in front of 20. We said, 20? And so we played a really good team. We were supposed to beat them by like 20, but had to play in a smaller gym, no crowd. They were up 20 against us, and then I ain't going to lie, third quarter, I was going down the court after they banked a 3. I was like, dang, this is it. And then finally, we actually got the lead. We were up 1 with like a minute left, and this team could not shoot threes at all, hit like 3 threes. Their highest game, they hit 4 threes. They hit 14 on us.
Wow.
And so we were up 1 with a minute left. Dude that cannot shoot just hit a 3 in the corner off the backboard. And I was like, dang, yep, this is it. But just we had a good run and had a good, really team. So I'm proud of it.
Well, you've had it, and we're talking to Kian Scroggins here, the freshman forward, and you're tall, 6'7". I mean, I'd put you up there with maybe like some of the tallest on the team. It's a pretty small ball this year for Sam Houston, so you're one of the taller guys. But, you've been in a unique situation because you fought through COVID in high school, and you've also had to experience it at the college level, the collegiate level, on the court. What has that been like for you?
It's been interesting. I mean, we've had our battles, especially that game, like I told you, just playing in front of so many people, to transfer into playing to not so many. I mean, I think that was the biggest challenge, but going into this season, knowing how it would be already, kind of had a feel for it. But overall, just teammates in the early season just getting COVID and had to cancel practice and stuff like that, a couple games. I mean, it's been tough, but, I mean, we battled through it, so it's just been a ride.
What experience through this whole thing have you learned through this whole pandemic? Because I've talked to a lot of people that, even me as a broadcaster, we're having to cover 3 sports at once right now on top of, regular full-time job and other things. So I was telling a business partner of mine, I said, if we can get through this, we're going to come out really strong, because I pray to God it's not going to be like this again, not just for our schedule, but for our whole nation and for our whole world, that people don't have to go through this again. But what have you learned through this whole process?
I just learned that you got to take it day by day. I mean, each day you can see something on the news, you're like, oh, it's going to be gone. And then you're like, whoa, next article, oh, it's bad. Like, you really can't really trust and believe everything that's out there. But, I mean, you just got to take it day by day and just keep trusting the process. That's going to be back to normal. Talking to
Kian Scroggins here. Good to have you. How'd you become a Bearcat, man? I always like to ask. How'd you end up in Huntsville, Texas, man? It's a good place to be.
Yes, sir. It's a great place to be. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad Coach Hooten gave me the opportunity to play here at a really good college. It's a winning college, and I'm just really glad to be here.
How did that journey kind of happen?
So I played in Atlanta, an AAU game, and I believe Coach Mudge seen me play. And funny story about that is I'm not a forgetful person, but I forgot my jersey in the hotel room. And so I forgot my jersey in the hotel room.
He kind of paused. Does Coach know the story?
And so
he just keeps going.
And so I didn't get to play the first half. And so I was like, dang, like this is live period. It's the only time really coaches got to see you. And so just sitting on the bench encouraging my teammates and stuff. One of the assistant coaches from I think like a 16U or something came and brought it to me at halftime, put it on, got to play, and I think I had like 10 straight points back to back right when I got in. And I think that's what caught the eye, I'm pretty sure. And so I think after that, Coach Hooten saw me, liked me a little bit, offered me, and then came on a visit here, had a good time. It was right after, I think, a rainstorm last September. And so, I mean, it was nice. The people here were nice, just great camaraderie, and I was just glad to be here. And then right when I got off that plane, called Coach Hooten, and I said, I'm ready.
That's awesome. Let's give it up, man. I think that's a great journey to get here. And, you know, the reason I always ask is how did you become a Bearcat? Because there may be somebody out there watching live. There may be somebody listening. Of course, we're on the radio, but we're also on social media with this. And there may be somebody out there saying, I want to get to the next level. A high school youngsters just as yourself was. And I think it's really important that for anybody, any ball player, any athlete, anybody, it doesn't even have to be an athlete, but just always be mindful that somebody's watching you, especially in today's world because of social media and everything. And so, you know, you go to this AAU game. If you would have never went, we wouldn't be talking to you today, man. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So that's important. So just keep that in mind. You know, Kian, you've earned more minutes as of late, especially over the last two games. You had a really good game at Texas A&M Corpus, career high 8 points in that one. You had 5 versus Stephen F. Austin. You know, talk a little bit about just earning those minutes and how good did it feel to get out there early versus both of these teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. I'm glad I got to get in and just show what I can do out there. But it's been fun overall. I mean, just getting to play with my teammates out there in front of everybody. I mean, there's no greater feeling, but I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it, but we still got more work to do and ready to win this thing this week. Freshman
on a team, of course, quite a few freshmen this year and getting a lot of minutes. And, you know, now you're starting to get some minutes. You know, the leadership. I mentioned earlier Zach Nuttall was taught, and I made it a point on the broadcast because I like to acknowledge a lot about what happens on the dead ball, in between play. And I saw Zach Nuttall go out there and talk to you, and you were very receptive to what he was telling you. And I could tell by your gestures and your hand motion. You know, talk a little bit about just some of the leadership from the upperclassmen on the team and what that's meant to you and kind of who helps guide you and mentor you on the team.
Yeah, I mean, Zach, he's a great leader, mentor. I mean, he talks to me every day just saying, just stay poised, keep doing what you do, rebound, defend, and you'll get there. And I'm receptive to it and just learn from other guys. I mean, Dante, Jay May, Terriante, Lamb, a few more guys. I mean, they lead us every day, and they talk to me, they talk to everybody else, and I'm just receptive to them because I know that they've been through it all, so I can learn from them and help better the situation, whatever that is.
You know, what have you enjoyed? You've only been here a short time. What have you enjoyed so far, most at Sam Houston?
Winning. I mean, I wish we could have got it done last week, but, I mean, that's regular season. That's out the way. Playoff time, so I'm just ready to win this week.
Southland tournament's coming up. I mean, this is kind of a new season. It is a new season. Everything starts over now. A lot of competition in the Southland. I mean, it's not going to be an easy journey. Stephen F. isn't in it this year. But you're playing some pretty good games. You secure the 3rd seed. You know, instead of a 3-game bye, now going to be a 2-game bye. You'll start on Thursday. Kind of your mindset heading into this. What are you looking forward to most in the tournament, and where do you feel your team is after coming off of a loss?
I mean, coming after a loss, I mean, some teams can take it 2 ways. They can take it hard, or they can say, okay, that's out the way, next one. I think we're saying it's the next one. Let's go out there, just have fun, play our game, play to our strengths, and just go out there and win. I think we're going to prepare tomorrow, Wednesday, pretty good, and then Thursday just go out there and show them what we're about.
From an individual standpoint, where do you feel that you can improve on as we get things started in the tournament? Where would you like to see yourself improve?
I mean, you can improve overall everything, but I just got to keep rebounding and defending for this team for us to be successful. So probably those two categories. Scoring will come to me. Just whatever the team needs me to do, and just step up and do it.
You got a lot of time on the radar, man, talking about looking in the whole scope of things. You're only a freshman. But I always like to ask, where do you see yourself after college? What do you want to be doing?
I want to do almost went blank for a sec, but forensic accounting. My dream goal is to be in the FBI one day. Just doing that and helping the world, I guess.
Forensic accounting.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
a little bit more about. Is that what? So you're taking classes right now, kind of gearing towards that?
Some basic classes right now. I'm starting it next year, so that's when I'll actually get into it. But my girlfriend's dad, he used to be in the FBI a little bit, so just hearing some stories from him and what he's done, and kind of got me interested in it. So I think I'll enjoy it. I've read a bunch about it, researched a lot about it, so I think it fits me best, so I'm interested.
We may have to set this video, because we do this on YouTube as well, we may have to set this to private afterwards, because we don't want anybody to use facial recognition 10 years down the road, Kian.
Yes, sir.
They'll know you're in the FBI, man, all right?
Yes,
so
sir.
we're going to keep that on the DL, all right? All right, Kian. Well, we asked you, where you want to be after college. I think that's impressive. Hobbies, man. What do you do outside of playing basketball, man?
Get on the game a little bit. I'm not really a gamer, I'd say, but probably coming into college, having so much free time. I'm not really, I want to say I'm the most social person outside of basketball, but just FaceTiming my family, friends back home, and just getting my schoolwork done, stay on top of my academics and stuff like that. So really just academics and free time, probably just chill, watch a movie, gaming, stuff like that.
So your family all back in Missouri, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit more about them, if that's okay.
So back home, I live with my mom, my stepdad, Scott Bass. I'll go to my dad's house, Rodney Scroggins, usually on the weekends and stuff like that. But got two brothers, older brothers. My oldest is 26. His name is Marquez Scroggins, and then my middle one is Dante Scroggins. He's 24 or 23.
So you're the youngest then,
yeah,
man?
Youngest.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I know that your parents support you. They've came to some of the games, and that's a tough journey. I always encourage people in Huntsville. I say this on every broadcast. At the high school level, you got parents in a community. Of course, there's going to be folks at those games, but come out and adopt these guys. And come out and support these Bearcats, because you said it earlier. It makes a world of difference. You got to admit, that last game versus Stephen F., that was a packed crowd, a lot of energy in the building.
Yeah, it was for sure one of the biggest games, crowd-wise, we've been to, because, COVID, like we said, just transitioning into the big crowd, sold out to 30%, 40% capacity. So, it was bigger than normal, so.
Well, we felt the energy. Ken was on the call with me, and he likes being over there with me because we can let loose a little bit more. It's not really a neutral broadcast. It's more of a Bearcat broadcast. So we try to bring the energy from the booth too, man, and kind of wish it down on the court on you guys. But overall, it's been a great season. 13-3. Got to be proud with that finish in the Southland, and now though on to bigger things. Finally, cameras right there on you. The entire state of Missouri is watching tonight. 4.2 million people just got on. Biggest numbers we've ever had. Kian, who do you want to send a shout-out to tonight, man?
Shout out to my mom. Love you. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for being there for me.
Awesome. We'll take a question from the audience. Anyone have a question for Kian? Ken, you have one? Ben?
Favorite moment, shot, individual play this year, something that sticks out from this last season?
So he kind of asked, just for our radio audience, he asked kind of the favorite shot, maybe something that sticks out this season for you.
Honestly, I was kind of prepared for this one. I would say probably taking a charge. I ain't going to lie, that's probably the best feeling, because when I get hit, go down, I look at that ref, and he says this way, I'm like, let's go. I know who's going to be happy about that one.
Kian, you may be one of the only players that says that is the greatest feeling, taking a charge, man. So hats off to that, man. That's what it's all. And you took quite a few of them. There was a couple, too, that I was like, why isn't that a charge? And, I was wondering what Kian was thinking, because he's like, that's got to be a charge, man. Well, we appreciate you. Thanks for being here, young man. I just want to continue to encourage you. This community is behind you. The university, of course, has is behind you. You're doing amazing things. Keep pushing hard. And, of course, we're going to continue to rally behind you and all the guys. So congratulations.
Thanks so much.
And let's go out and get that dub and win this Southland.
Yes, sir.
All right, friends. That'll do it for our second segment. When we come back, we'll talk about the Southland Tournament and more. Stay with us. We're live from True Texas BBQ. This is the Jason Hooten Radio Show. We'll be back in just a few moments.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
Hey y'all, Josh Ward here, reminding you it's Truck Month at Bill Fick Ford. Take it from me, nothing outworks or outperforms the Ford F-Series truck, and nobody has a better selection of F-150s, 250s, and 350 Super Duties than No Bull Bill. Stop in today, take advantage of Ford Truck Month savings, and see for yourself why so many trucks on the road come from Bill Fick Ford in Huntsville. Bill Fick Ford, built Ford tough, built Ford proud, and built for America. Check them out at BillFickFordHuntsville.com.
All right, friends, welcome back here. We're in our third segment. Rob Hipp live from True Texas BBQ in Huntsville, Texas. How everybody doing tonight? Got some barbecue in the house. It's always good. Barbecue is so good, man. And, Coach, I'm getting hungry. I haven't even had a chance to eat yet today.
I'm definitely getting some of that barbecue to take home.
I had you know what I really like? I mean, I love barbecue, but you know one thing that I really like cold, Coach? Pizza? Any cold pizza eater? There, we got a couple of hands. You like cold pizza, Coach?
Absolutely not.
Oh, come on, man.
You have to put the pizza in the microwave.
What about like cold? What about cold like chicken strips or chicken nuggets? I eat cold chicken, man.
Absolutely not.
Oh, man.
How can you eat cold food?
All right, well, that'll do it for the Jason Hooten Radio. No, I'm just kidding, Coach.
You can't eat cold food. Food's supposed to be warm.
Well, we're continuing to talk to head coach Jason Hooten here on our final show of the season. Who knows? Maybe we'll finish out and have another one. You know?
Let's do one when we get back from Indianapolis. How's that?
I like that. We'll finish out and have one more. Well, Coach, the Southland Tournament officially gets underway in Katy on Tuesday. Not for us though. We'll have to wait until Thursday. The Cats finished third in the Southland. Nichols took the first seed. I won't go into this long. Nichols did not, some of these schools, they didn't have to play an SFA. They didn't have to play a UCA, or an ACU, rather. Abilene Christian finished number 2. Still, though, very tough teams. Nichols was a team that we defeated twice. We split the season with Abilene Christian. Sam Houston is a third seed, of course, getting a first and second round bye, so no play on Tuesday or Wednesday, but the Cats will play on Thursday. We'll face either Lamar, Houston Baptist, or Incarnate Word. So Lamar will play the winner of Houston Baptist and Incarnate Word, and so that is Sam Houston will face one of those 3 teams. Coach, before we really talk about this particular tournament, just a little bit of history from you about the tournament. What has this been like for you in your 11-year coaching career and just the energy that surrounds it? It's always a lot of fun.
It is. It's just kind of weird because we've been so blessed here that we go every year. And I can't remember the last time. I think we've been like 20 years in a row or something. So, it's just something that you expect to do every year.
I don't want to interrupt. Let's get that's 20 years in a row. I mean,
I'm guessing. I don't know.
It's close. I think it is.
I've been here 16 years, and I know we've been all 16 years that I've been here.
That's impressive, Coach.
I don't know beyond that. I know Coach Marlin went quite a bit, and I'm going to say in his tenure he only didn't go maybe once or so. So I mean, it may be even longer than 20 years, but you get it's just something that you appreciate. I think we appreciate that opportunity to go every year, and you just got to hope that you go play your best, and you got to get lucky. I mean, that's all there is to it, and at some point in time in that game on Thursday, and if we're blessed to play Friday or Saturday, you're going to have a little luck. You're going to have things go your way, and I think that our guys have prepared this year, and they've worked hard for that moment, and I think that when that moment arrives, that we're going to be ready for it.
Speaking of preparing and working hard, tell us a little bit maybe about the preparation heading into this tournament every year. What is that like?
Yeah, it's difficult just because you don't know exactly who you're going to play. I think we have a pretty good idea of who we're going to play this year. It's someone that we feel like we just kind of played with in the last couple of weeks, so that's still pretty fresh on our mind. But we'll at least have a day to know because, I say that we'll be able to cut it down from 3 to 2 right after tomorrow night. we'll have a little better feeling and understanding. And then when you can cut it down to 2 teams. So we'll just take some odds tomorrow, and we'll just kind of go with the team that we think it might be. And then, then on I guess that'd be Wednesday. Wednesday it'll be one less team that we might have to work on. So, but it's fun. It's a fun time. It's exciting. It's do or die. You win, you win, you keep moving on, and if you lose, the season's over. But we have a lot to play for. I think we have an opportunity to, as good a year as we've had and as good a team as we've had, we've got an opportunity to win this thing. And, we win one more game, we win 20 games. It's always something that is a goal of ours and hard to do. And because of COVID, we got denied that last year. We had 18, and I really felt like we could win a couple games in that tournament and win 20 games. So we have a lot to play for. Our guys are hungry, and they're excited and ready for the moment.
Of course, it tips off on Tuesday with you guys playing on Thursday. Do you still head down there a little bit early? Do you stick around here in Huntsville? Kind of travel plans for this?
Well, because of COVID this year, practices down there are different. It's going to be a little difficult. We won't be able to shoot on the goals. We literally won't get on those baskets until the game starts, or, warm-ups.
Can you bring a Spalding, portable, and set it up in a hotel parking lot?
Yeah, so we'll practice here tomorrow. We'll practice here Wednesday, and then we'll leave Wednesday after practice. And we'll try to find some high school around there and, in that area to practice on Thursday, the day of the game, to walk through our opponent's stuff one more time and, just get ready to go play. At this point in time in the year, you just need to know what you're doing really well, have a pretty good familiarity with your opponent and what they're trying to do, and go play. It's about just going to play.
Coach, kind of final question, of course, is the keys to victory. We can't really dive into that. Continue to rebound, don't turn the ball over, those basic things. But, Coach, for the kids, asking you about this specifically, for these, and I say kids, these are young men. And the women are going to be there too, which is exciting. So Coach Justice has had a great season. The women will also be in that tournament. We'll cover them as well. But, Coach, for these young men, what is this like for them? It's got to be special. It's
really hard to – it's funny, like Saturday night I go home and, I'm just disappointed and down the dumps and, and then you wake up Sunday and you're a little better, and then you wake up today and you're like, it's go time. There is nothing more exciting and fun than a conference tournament. It's just because what that opportunity is. I mean, you just play 3 games, and if you win all 3 of them, you get the ultimate prize. And I told the guys today, again, we can harp on this. We're disappointed. We wanted to win that conference championship. But if someone walked in and said, hey, look, you got the conference trophy. Here it is. It's all yours. But you're going to go to Katy and lose the first game. Would you take it? And, all of them shook their head no. And so I think that just kind of answers the question for you. And the sense that, hey, like, you have an opportunity now to really get the ultimate prize. Nothing against Nichols and whoever, but if you go win 3 games, it's going to mean a whole lot more than the conference championship, and you're going to get a different type of trophy, and you're going to get that confetti that falls down out of that ceiling. And I've had it fall on me twice before, and it just wasn't the kind that I wanted it to be. I want it to be the falling on me when we're sitting there winning and not watching somebody else get the trophy. So I've been there before. We've been there before. It's a great feeling. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. The hardest part will be that we don't play till Thursday and that we play at 8 o'clock. Make for a long day. And that's the hardest part, just like this past Saturday was hard. Those 48 hours after that Corpus game were difficult, waiting to play that game Saturday, and that's the hardest part to me. I'm ready to go play tomorrow, and I think our guys are too. So, but we got some stuff to work on, and I thought we had a good day today. The guys got in there, got some rust off. We shot the ball really well today, which is what we need to do. We need to shoot the ball in order to be successful. That's part of our team, and I think we will. I think we'll go do what we've done all year long, and we've shot it well all year long.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be down there. We've already made preparations. Typically with broadcasting schedule, football takes precedent, but of course a victory, and I'm going to cover you guys throughout the tournament, so we've already logistically made arrangements to be in Indianapolis. We've already said, look, we go through the South, and I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but And we've already thought this through and made those arrangements to make sure to be there with you guys through the entire way. Now, we'll still cover football, don't get me, but we'll have, we'll have a different way of getting that covered. But we're going to ride with you guys and hopefully, ride it and be there the whole way.
Rob, so. I like to see you getting your priorities in order, Rob.
And Coach, you talked about some confetti falling. I wanted to acknowledge a fan that is here today. It is her birthday. Oh. Can we please say happy birthday to Miss Deneen Thompson? Good to have you, Deneen.
Happy birthday.
Now, we won't sing happy birthday because, Coach, I don't think, Coach and I don't sing.
I'm a horrible singer.
Yeah, but we did want to say happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
So some beautiful flowers here for Miss Thompson.
Thompsons are really special to our program, and, they don't miss a game, and, they've been to the radio show, and just we really appreciate you guys. You don't know how much it means to have people like you that really care about our kids and our program. And, speaking of that, I mean, how impressive is Kian Scroggins? Pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah, man. I always say there's a few guys that I've talked to this year that, you could have a career doing some radio work, too, down the road. So
I think he's no disrespect to a radio guy or an old coach, but I think Kian's probably going to be a little bit the higher pay grade than you and I someday.
I didn't go into radio to make – I joke around saying I got out of IT so I wouldn't make money in radio, and it's the best decision I ever made. So it's been a lot of fun,
I love it. I'm excited about Katie because it's a long story, but I'm sure a lot of people out there want to know this. But so we went on the road and played the first 3 games of the year, and the NCAA decided this year that we're all going to wear polos or pullovers. And I'm actually on one of the committees that we actually kind of talked about it. And so it was my job as a coach – and I'm the coach that represents our conference. And so I had to come back after the meeting, and I had to call all the coaches in our league and tell them, hey, we're going to wear polos this year. And there were 2 or 3 coaches that were like, that's not what I want to do. I want to wear – and I was, hey, you can wear whatever you want to wear. Just telling you that all the coaches in the NCAA agreed that we're going to go ahead and wear polos this year and wear pullovers. So we go on this first road trip, and I'm excited because, I don't know who invented or made the choice that you got to wear a suit and tie to coach in, but it's the craziest thing.
That's why your jacket usually comes. But see, Ken pointed
that
out, and the jacket with you, that's like a going bet now. I think that's something that could start here in Huntsville.
That jacket didn't last very long Saturday night. It was hot in there. And I was hot after the first 2 or 3 calls from those officials. So anyway,
you notice, Coach, I didn't ask you like I typically do. What'd you tell the team after the game? I didn't ask you that question. This one,
I probably would get fined by the Southland or whatever. Anyway, so we get back from that first road trip wearing polos, and we were a mess. I mean, we were 0-3, and we played 3 really good teams. Well, we played 3 NCAA. They're all 3 going to be in the NCAA tournament. So we played some good teams, and we came back, and and we had 3 nons on our schedule, and I knew we could kind of get that thing going again and get some confidence. And so we had a staff meeting, and I said, what do y'all, and they were like, Coach Mudge was like, he always wants to wear polos. And Coach Mudge was like, we need to wear a suit. And he's like, we need to change our look. And I was like, you know what? I've been thinking that too. We're going to wear suits. So we wore suits at home because we were 12-0. So, but we got beat Saturday night in that suit. So I'm wearing a polo and Katie.
And I'm not. Yeah, there you go. All right, put on the polo.
Kian, I'm wearing a polo, buddy.
And I'm not wearing my.
And I'm taking 4 polos. And here's the deal. I'm going to have 1 for each game, and 1 for the first NCAA game. And if we win that first NCAA game, I'm going to wear the same damn one again.
All right, Coach.
How's that?
Oh, man. I quit wearing my David Robinson socks. The Admiral let me down, man. That's my role model.
Oh, you know what?
We lost at Stephen F. Austin. That game we lost after the 10-game streak. So I was like, David, I love you, man. You've been my role model. But I said the Admiral's got to go back into the into the Chester drawer.
I wore my Larry Bird socks Saturday night, and I told myself
Thanks,
as
Larry.
I put them on that I was going to burn them if we lost, but I can't burn my Larry Bird socks. So.
All right. Well, again, appreciate everybody being here. I know you mentioned the Thompson earlier. Mr. Ron is here. His wife, Angie, is here. So, Angie, thank you for making it out. Ron, I had him on at halftime talking about just his involvement as a season ticket holder and how important that is. And that's why I always want to remind you, I was very impressed and happy with the crowd that we had on this previous game on Saturday. And hopefully next year we continue to build that momentum. I had a really nice chat today with some folks at the university on how we can kind of help that relationship and really get folks in the community involved. And so, again, come out, support these cats. I know no more home games at Johnson this season, but you still got an opportunity to watch them, to be in Katy, I believe. Just go to gobearcats.com. You can find all the information you need. But, Coach, progressively, there was a couple of games where the attendance was a little bit lower than the previous games. But overall, I think we saw a good, steady fill-in of crowd this year. During a COVID year, it was impressive. So next year, we'll be over COVID. Things will be back rocking and rolling. And, man, we're expecting a full house, especially with the WAC coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun moving in to the Western Athletic Conference.
Yeah, I want to take this time to give you some accolades and compliment you on, I think you had a lot to do with that crowd and the energy that you're bringing to our program and, to our athletic department has just been fantastic. And I think you had a lot to do with that, and we tweeted our 1,200 strong. We got it. We got our 1,200 strong Saturday,
All right.
Absolutely.
Got it.
We got it. So, my goal has been the same goal I've had since I took over in 2010. And that's, I'd like to have that every night in that place. And, and I say this all the time, but, for the level of team that I feel like we field every year and how competitive our guys are and that we're playing for championships every year. And then, to listen to a guy like that, speak. I mean, that guy is representing our university and our community. And we got we got a whole team full of those guys. And so I just think that, coming and just supporting them for 2 hours twice a week, 8, 9, 10, 12 times a year is fantastic. So I just want to thank the guys and the people and the ladies and gentlemen that come and that have come. Obviously, these guys over here, Ben, you guys, y'all been great all year long, man. Appreciate you guys and everything y'all have done. And Ken Hollins, one of our biggest supporters as well. So appreciate everything you've done, Ken. And got one of my assistants here tonight, Payne Andrus. Payne does a great job for us, and we wouldn't be where we're at right now without Payne. Payne is Coach Mudge has been with me for 10 years, and he's obviously probably my part of my body, my right arm probably, but Payne's been my right-hand man for the last 2 years, and he's done a fabulous job, and hopefully we can keep him on, and if not, somebody's going to get a really good coach for sure. So, but anyway, we appreciate you guys and what y'all have done for our program. And True Texas BBQ, HEB, this has been good. So hopefully we can do one more to end the year, and hopefully it's, one in the NCAA tournament.
Be a lot of fun. Who wants one more? You guys want? Yeah, we got some hands out there. All right.
Let's do it.
Hey, and Coach, I wanted to acknowledge, I'll get in trouble if I don't, my beautiful fiance is here tonight, Bridget. So love you, sweetheart.
Man.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks for sharing him, Bridget.
Yeah, she's got to go back to Georgetown after this. So
that's not a bad place either.
Yeah, so appreciate you being here, sweetheart. Love you. And she's helped me a lot this year behind the scenes, running scoreboard and those kind of things with our in the booth coverage.
I was wondering why you do such a good job.
Well, that's her, man. So appreciate all that. Well, friends, been a fun one here today. Appreciate Kian for being here. And everybody for joining us. Coach Hooten, as always, appreciate you. Again, Kian, thank you for being here. Carlos Zimmerman back at KSAM. He keeps me, Carlos keeps me in line. He'll send me a little message. You don't see this, and you don't hear it because we don't talk back, but we type back. And he'll send me little bugs every once in a while if I've said something wrong. And when I got that score wrong, he didn't just say the score. He goes, here's the score, and then he put Rob. It's kind of like your mom or, your mom talking to you like, Rob. That's Carlos. That's how you sound on the text message, which is good, man. So thank you, Carlos. And he's a lot younger than me, but he's going to fill in and do some stuff along with many good friends. Jordan has stepped in as well, and we appreciate those guys. Steve Ricks, our director of operations at KSAM, our general manager Dave Donahue, and Cody Stark. I couldn't do everything that I do without Cody and the fine athletic department under Coach Bobby Williams, Jason Barfield, Ben Reichert. Those guys helped me with so much. Again, so appreciate everybody for being here. Friends, as I end every broadcast, I want to remind you tonight that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there tonight needs you. Friends, we say it every time on the count of three and eat 'em up, cats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Eat 'em up, cats. Good night and God bless from Huntsville, Texas. We'll see you Thursday from the tournament.
Changes are part of life. Some are easy and some are hard. We'll all experience a time in life when we say goodbye to a loved one. I'm Greg Smith with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and we understand how difficult this time can be, and we're committed to caring for your family and your loved one. For almost 20 years at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we've been committed to serving